And if I mispronounce her name, please forgive me. So our first speaker tonight will be Michelle Chance. The agenda item she will be addressing is agenda item 4, level 3 agreements. Michelle Chance.
All right, Michelle Chance. I have 4 children total, 3 of which are in the school district today. And the reason that I felt compelled to come and speak today was because of the item on the agenda concerning one of the grievances that's being raised today. And my concern really comes from something that I want to relate to you. My daughter recently went through her Texas driver's license course. And as part of that Texas driver's license course, they're required to watch an impact video. 2 hours. And it includes footage from real crashes. It includes really, I would almost call it gritty information about the consequences of what happens if you drive drunk, if you drive under the influence of drugs, if you drive distracted. That type of video is required by the state of Texas because of something that we all know to be true. Eleanor Roosevelt said it really well. We want to learn from the mistakes of others because we don't live long enough to make them ourselves. That notion of being able to learn from others' mistakes and learn from things that we can see, because as we also know, even the best kids need to understand what happens if they make the wrong choice even one time. That is the value of realistic fiction. That is the value of taking something realistic, something that has happened to someone else, and presenting it in a way to children, to teenagers, so that they can learn from others, so that they have the ability to learn without having to make the mistake themselves, so that they can ask questions, so that they can learn about things in a safe space. We see it in the Bible, in Romans, in the Bible, in many places, in Proverbs, where it tells us what happens if you get drunk. In Romans, where it describes women and homosexual acts. And it describes those things to us to teach us so that we can learn, so that we can talk about it. And that is why the importance of realistic fiction. Realistic fiction is important to our teenagers. So if there are 2 points that I can get in my minutes, one is that value of realistic fiction, but the second is the importance of trusting our students and our educators on what that realistic fiction is, on the lessons that should be taught to our children. The power of reading lies in its ability to expand horizons, to challenge perspectives, and to foster intellectual curiosity. And that's the job of our educators. That is the job of our librarians.
Thank you, Ms. Chance. Your time has expired.
Thank you.
Our next speaker, Katie B. Katie D. Agenda item number 4.
Hi. Here I stand before you again to say I support the school board, our principals, our educators, and our staff at Llano ISD. I have no financial benefit or political gain in speaking tonight. What I do have is 3 little sets of eyes watching me. 3 little humans that we are growing into educated, independent, and kind people. Not many can say this, but in Llano, we understand what it is like to lose a functioning library with trained librarians. As a parent, that is not something I want to happen to our schools. These educators dedicate their life's passion to the kids that pass through their library. It is not to make millions of dollars. It is to make a difference. Could my kids imagine a life without Mrs. Wilson, Miss Park, Miss Dillard? No. Should they? Absolutely not. These 3 educators give back within the community in ways that they don't look for recognition. The kids will talk about their impact their entire lives. This is what I want in my kids' education. These are the people I want to impact my children's growth. 15 years from now, my last child will graduate from high school. What happens today will shape her entire education.
observation how many small steps could lead to the ruination of an entire life. Children and teens may have seen kids like themselves living average lives, and sometimes they saw people who were at rock bottom, but they simply don't know how it happened. It's often been said that reading can let you borrow a life or ideas without being in actual danger. I agree with that. I've been an avid reader my entire life, and my mother was a voracious reader. She once told me when I was grown and moved away that she was so proud of herself. She had whittled down her library to 3,000 books. It was going to make moving so much easier. No book was denied us. If you could read the words, go for it. She also knew that information or stories in a book are self-limiting. If you can't understand it, or it distresses or doesn't appeal to you, you can simply set it aside. There is solid evidence that teens and adults read novels that are disturbing on some level. It allows us to experience without coming to actual harm. Readers of authors like Dean Koontz or Stephen King know this is true. A book like Crank takes us through the problems, disappointments, and adult betrayal that makes a teen susceptible to the predators that inhabit the drug world. They can become addicts who will do anything for the next fix of this horrible drug. This novel is more than half autobiographical. The victim was the author's daughter. I offer you this thought in my mother's honor. She passed away yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Our next speaker is Michael Julian. Michael Julian is speaking on item number 4.
I have a whole lot to say. I just come to you as a parent, Marktown, Llano. I applaud the school for following the procedures on challenge books. Removing books without following proper procedures opens the door for more rights and freedoms to be taken away from us on one person's opinion. We can already see examples of this in our society of being a big challenge. Getting rid of everything you disagree with in life is not the proper solution. It's important to teach our kids about the world around them, how to handle a difference of their opinions, as differences will be encountered in everyday life. The choice of the books in our schools should be left up to the qualified educators we have in place. From there, it is the parents' right and responsibility to decide what is okay for their children and their family. That right should not be decided for them by the opinion of others.
Thank you, Mr. Julian. Our 5th and final speaker, Rebecca Swain. Rebecca Swain. Ms. Swain will be speaking on item number 4.
Good evening. My name is Rebecca Swain. I'm a resident of Llano. I have nieces and nephews currently enrolled in the Llano Independent School District. My own son may attend a Llano school when he is old enough. I want to express out loud my support of the school board. I'm appreciative to them for sticking to their own policies and procedures when it comes to reconsideration of challenge books. Even among the outside pressure, divisive tactics, and personal attacks we've seen come to our community. I'd like to end with something I recently read in a book by Alan Ross. A wise school librarian reminds readers that each parent has the right to decide what their child can or can't read. What they cannot do is make that decision for everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Swain. Ms. Swain